Hello and welcome to my podcast, Chamomile Cafe. I'm very happy to see you here today, and I don't know if you've listened to my previous stuff, but if you have, you will notice a definite drastic improvement in the sound quality. I got a new mic. Well, my love got a new mic, and he is very, very kindly letting me use it for my podcasts, and it is a huge kindness on his part because I can be very clumsy and careless at times, so I really appreciate him letting me use it, and I've reassured him I will really try my absolute best to keep his equipment safe and undamaged. And we're not on tea today, we're on water, because I got a new bottle. It's a metal bottle and it's pink, baby pink, and pink is my favourite colour, by the way. And I was thinking about getting a glass bottle, but I am conscious that they're heavy and I don't really want to drink out of plastic bottles anymore, even the reusable ones, because we know drinking out of plastic isn't good for us. And I'm very excited to do today's podcast episode. It is something I'm very passionate about, and it's kind of a follow-on from the last episode as well. The last episode being how to feel beautiful when you've convinced yourself you're not. And this one is why I'm not afraid of aging, wrinkles and all, okay? I am not afraid of getting older. I used to be scared, but now I'm not. And do you know what? This is an unpopular opinion, but I am excited to get grey hair and wrinkles. While excited might be a bit of an overstatement, I do get excited when I see a grey hair, and I do not pull it out. And I've got one in the front, actually, that's quite prominent. And I notice more fine lines than I used to have. You know, being 24, I don't have the same skin that I had at 16. But I think it gives me character. It reminds me of all the times that I've smiled and laughed. And I love it. And it feels very authentic, and I love authenticity, and I don't want to hide it. I don't want to hide who I am and who I'm becoming, because we are changing. Our bodies are always going to change. And I've really come to terms with that. I used to be so scared of getting old, but I have overcome that, and I want to share why, because it is a very common fear, but it is an inevitable part of life, so it's not a helpful fear to have. And it is understandable, but it serves us no purpose, and actually it makes your quality of life worse, because as you get older, if you hang on to this idea of not wanting to get older, then you're just resisting a natural part of life. And it's not going to help, and it is honestly the opposite of aging gracefully. And when you waste so much of your life worrying about getting older, it will stop you from living your life. It consumes so much time and so many of your thoughts. And honestly, it isn't worth worrying about the inevitable, because if something's going to happen anyway, then why waste any minute worrying about it? And honestly, we mostly worry about things that don't even exist. You know, the worries that we have and all these scenarios we play out in our head, most of the things that we worry about don't ever even happen anyway. So if it isn't happening in the present moment, it doesn't really exist. Not in your current life. So the fact that you're worrying about being old when you're not old yet, just let it go. Okay? It's a waste of your time and energy. Just cross that bridge when you come to it. And often it's not as bad as you expect. Not just aging, but things in general. And it's such a waste of your energy, your precious, valuable energy, and it's a drain on your nervous system. Mental stress stresses out the nervous system, and guess what that does? It ages you. Nothing wrong with getting older, but we don't want to prematurely age, okay? Now, there's two reasons why people worry and fear getting older. The first thing is looks, and the second thing is actually just being old. So the first thing, looks. So like I said, it's related to the last podcast episode about feeling beautiful, and I really do suggest that you go and listen to that, because there is a lot of valuable stuff in there which is applicable to this fear, when you're fearing looking older. And I'm really proud of that last episode. So yeah, I really do suggest you go listen to that, because I go deeper into it. But often we don't feel as beautiful when we see ourselves getting older because of the narrative that we're sold. So that is that beauty means a certain thing and looking a certain way, and it's not necessarily looking more mature. Youth is very valued in this society. That is just the way it is, unfortunately. We don't look to our elders for wisdom. Not so much anymore. Things have changed. Some of it has changed for the worse, and that is one of them, I believe. And youth is tied into beauty, and beauty is also very valued in society. But it's much more with women than for men, because we have this silver fox thing with men. Like, the prime example is George Clooney. And I also speak about this in the last podcast episode, that beauty standards are different for us as women than they are for men. And women really have drawn the short straw, in this. So this kind of stuff, again, go back to the last episode. But speaking of drawing the short straw, people have rejected this idea of aging to the point where anti-aging products and habits are affecting our whole lives. There is an anti-wrinkle straw out there. So it's these things that we don't even think about, and now we're being sold these products to avoid aging when you can't really avoid it, when it's possibly something you never even thought about before. So it's instilling more fears into you. And then there's other anti-aging habits like not sleeping on your side because that'll create wrinkles. I'm going to sleep however is comfortable. I mean, while also trying to protect my neck and back, because, okay, let's be honest, a lot of us don't sleep in the best position, but not sleeping in your side and having to sleep on your back just to prevent wrinkles. And then there was this one girl on TikTok who trained her facial muscles to relax so she doesn't use them when she's talking or really doing anything. They are there to express how you're feeling. Your facial muscles are there as not a sign, as a form of expression. It's very soulful and human to create all of these facial expressions, even if, yes, it will create wrinkles in the future. But that's, like I was saying, when I see these fine lines and wrinkles on myself, I see it as a sign that I have smiled in the past, or even that I've been mad about something, with the frown lines, and I've been grumpy, but I've moved past it. We have all kinds of memories, and they show up in our face sometimes, and it's very human. And I think all of these things, like we don't want to age, that's kind of like anti-human, because as a human, and anything on earth, should I say as an earthling, because everything on this planet ages, and it's just trying to go against nature, really. So let's say you get the anti-wrinkle straw, you sleep on your side, you train your face, you have a 20-step face care, skincare routine that you do in the morning and night. You don't smile. All for what? To look a certain way? That isn't worth it to me. And we don't appreciate beauty outside of conventional standards. I absolutely love wrinkles and grey hair. Someone that I find absolutely gorgeous who has both wrinkles and grey hair is Geraldine James. I think she is absolutely gorgeous. And here are some other women that I think have aged gracefully, and not because of the way they look, not because they've had plastic surgery and injections to stop to prevent wrinkles and dye in their grey hair, but women who are older, but they are just gorgeous the way they are. Geraldine James, like I mentioned, Tilda Swinton, Meryl Streep, Joan Collins, she's 90 and she's rocking it. She has never had any work done. So she claims. Andie MacDowell, Helen Mirren, look at all these women. They're really embracing who they are and the way they look. And something I saw on social media, it was on TikTok and it was this post. So it was, I don't want to say plastic surgery clinic, but they did things like Botox, and I think they did do plastic surgery anyway. But something they said, and it really, really made me angry. It said, wrinkles aren't tolerated here. To use the word tolerate is to put up with something even though you don't like it. So they can't even accept that people have wrinkles. And that just made me so mad, because what message is that sending? I don't even need to go into it any deeper because I'm going to get too worked up. It really triggered me, that, because, like I said, I'm not going to go into it. I think it speaks for itself. So there is this ultimate compliment for a woman to be told that you look younger than your age. Now, my grandma, she looked a lot younger than her age, but it didn't save her from dying relatively young at 72. And looking young won't save you. And it's used as like an insult to say that, oh, she looks her age, or she didn't age well. You know, first of all, what is wrong for a woman to look her age? What is wrong with looking a certain age? And what does it actually mean to age well? Because to me, it is not looks, but to age gracefully by accepting these different phases of life and embracing change, not resisting and fighting the inevitable. And you can be old, but young on the inside, having a zest for life, laughing, living it up, not stopping doing these things because you think you're too old. Again, Joan Collins is a wonderful example of that. And I think aging ungracefully is being resentful and angry and grumpy about something that isn't going to change. You're not going to get younger. And I just want to add as well that you will be more free from the male gaze and unwanted male attention, more so than when you were younger anyway. But female attention, women will still admire you when you're older, if they don't have these extremely deep-set fears about looking older and projecting it onto older or older-looking women because of this. But generally speaking, women will still give you attention because we see things in a different way to men. Now, again, another part of aging gracefully, like I was saying, embracing different phases of life and embracing the maiden, the mother, and the crone. And enjoying the different experiences and gifts and obstacles and, you know, of all of these different life phases. And part of learning, enjoying life makes life more satisfying than if you were just so angry and resentful to the point where you couldn't even accept what was happening. You know, like the maiden, curious, maybe even a little bit naive, but that means a lot of opportunity for learning and growth, learning what it means to be a woman, excitement. I don't want to use the word innocence, so I guess that, you know, naive is possibly the more appropriate word, but a sense of innocence as well. And then the mother, whether you're a mother or not, you know, you get older and you develop certain qualities, you know, I'd say between 20s and 40s, that you have more security in yourself. You're starting to learn more about unconditional support, unconditional love, and being supportive, and warmth, and sacrifice as a mother, and I don't mean sacrificing yourself for others, but sacrificing certain things, because if you are a mother, there is a sense of sacrifice. You do, or you should, if you're a good mum. I will say you have to sacrifice certain things. And then the crone knows who she is. Wise, more fearless, a no bullshit mentality. and lots of memories to think back on and enjoy and laugh about and experience, so much life experience. So getting older is not just the physical changes, but more mental as well. I'd say the mental changes are even more prominent than the physical changes, because when you get older, you're wiser, you're more experienced, you understand yourself more and you know yourself better, you have more confidence. Like, some people make me feel excited to be older and wiser. I studied my degree with older ladies, well, ladies who were older than me, 30s, 40s, even 50s, and I learned so much from them. And I was just thinking, oh my God, I hope to be like you one day. Or, well, like myself, but you know what I mean. You know, just so inspiring to me. And I know so many people who say, oh, I'm so old, and they're in their 20s. You are young in your 20s. And 30s are young as well. You're not even halfway through your life in your 30s. You know, hopefully. And it's just feeding into their fear, and they're not even there yet. And words have power. You will feel older if you say you feel older. And there's another misconception about getting older as well. And it is that life is over or it gets worse at a certain age. And I call complete bullshit. I think between your 30s and your 50s are probably the best years of your life, because you're more experienced, you're more stable, more educated, you have more discernment, you're better at choosing your friends and your partners and your social circle. Hopefully you've developed a career by then, or you have the confidence to make a career change. Generally, you've got more money as you're older than in your 20s. You have more opportunities for new experiences. Your life is more ideal. This ideal version of your life that you have in your head, it's more likely to play out in real life in your 30s, 40s, 50s than in your 20s. And of course, in the real world, there's unpredictability, but there is way more unpredictability in your 20s, I would say, from my own personal experience. And people often think, oh, as you get older, your health declines. Rich Roll is my favourite example. He got out of breath and he had to pause up a simple flight of stairs on his 40th birthday. And by his 50, but by the time he was 50, he was running, Ultramans. Not just Ironmans, Ultramans. An ultra endurance. He is an ultra endurance athlete. And Men's Health magazine? I think it was Men's Health magazine. He was on the front cover of one of their issues and he was labelled the world's fittest vegan. Now, he disagreed. He said, I don't know about the fittest, I'm a fit vegan. But that was so inspiring to me, because it's not too late to do things, no matter how old you are. Jelly Roll, recently, he's 39, and he recently won the New Artist of the Year award. Vera Wang didn't even enter the fashion industry until she was 40. Morgan Freeman didn't get his big break until he was 49. And Tabitha Brown, she pursued an acting career but had to stop when she had autoimmune pain, and she turned to a vegan diet. And when she was an Uber driver at the time, and she posted a TikTok that went viral, and she reached 2 million followers in 5 weeks. She wrote a New York Times best-selling memoir and started acting again. She was 39 when she posted that viral TikTok. You are never too old to do whatever you want. And like I said, embrace changes, because aging is inevitable and dying is inevitable. I know there's this fear that the older you are, the closer you are to death, but it is a blessing to age. Because I have an old friend, or had an old friend. We weren't friends at the time. We did drift in, a few years before. But she died in a car accident. We are not guaranteed tomorrow. It doesn't matter how old you are. You are going to die one day. It doesn't mean you're going to die when you're old. Aging is a gift, and it is not given to all of us. Dying young is the alternative to aging, and I know which one I'm more afraid of. Do not let aging hold you back, and certainly don't let the fear of aging hold you back. You are your own biggest enemy, and you are not defined by your age or what others think of you. Now, I really hope you take this on board, because it used to be something I thought about every single day, and it is not worth your time or your energy. It is a fear that possibly will get worse as you age if you don't address it and nip it in the bud. So, I hope you got something from this. It was a little bit of a shorter one, but I hope that you enjoyed this episode and that it made you think about things a little bit differently as well. So, drink your water, and I will see you next time. Bye.